Hello, this is Pastor Parsons. Today is our third update, and many of you are probably familiar with the phrase, when God closes a door, he opens a window. Well, I suppose in a somewhat literal and figurative sense, you've been closing maybe a lot of doors and a lot of windows lately. But at the same time, God is opening a window too. Now, I want to show you a picture that maybe some of you have seen. It used to hang in my office at church. It was a picture that was taken a long time ago in China, actually right outside of the city of Wuhan, the city that has certainly been in the news for a while now. But this picture was taken all the way back in 1931 after a terrible flood that happened on the Yangtze River. Now, the flooding was so bad that entire cities were wiped out, and it's estimated that between 3 and 4 million people lost their lives from the flooding and also the disease that followed. Now, it was a sad and desperate situation where it seemed like God had closed a door, especially to the Christian mission work that was going on there in Wuhan. Now, this story is personal to me because my grandfather, Pastor Klein, lived and worked as a Lutheran missionary in Wuhan. And during the flood and for the months afterwards, he and other missionaries, they would go out and float around the flooded city looking for bakers who were operating on second floor so that they could buy some food to take out to the refugees that were stationed on the hills that were above the flooded city. Now, it was certainly not the best time, and it looked like, in many ways, all hope was lost. But when Christmas finally rolled around that year, the missionaries figured it would be a good time, and it would be a perfect time for them to worship their God. And that's what this picture is. It was taken during their Christmas service with thousands of people in attendance. And right in the center of this picture is my grandfather, who is preaching for that service. Now, it seemed in many ways that God had closed a door, but he had opened a great big window to open up the opportunity to share the news that Christ came, that he lived, that he suffered, he died, and he rose again. Now, after about 6 months, when the floodwaters finally receded and people were able to return to their homes, well, right before they left, they had another worship service. And in that service, over 400 people were baptized in a single day. Now, this picture shows that no matter how many doors seem to be closing, God can open up even more windows for the gospel message to be shared. And a look in scriptures finds many places where it looked like God was closing a door, but really opening up a window of opportunity to share the good news. And you think of Noah's Ark, to the children of Israel being led captive, to our situation today. We see that God knows what he's doing, and well, maybe he closes a door, he opens up a window of opportunity to hear the truth and change lives for eternity. I'd like to share with you today the words of Paul recorded in Romans chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Now, God's blessings, and I hope to see you tomorrow, God willing. And if you'd like to join us, we are going to sing together hymn 429 from Christian Worship, What God Ordains is Always Good, and the words will appear on the screen.
my God.